Hello everybody, JMan92854 here, finally making another official video, not just some little random off the cuff thing, no text to music thing, just regular me in front of the camera talking to you, my audience. And I'm surprised I still have an audience considering how long I've been inactive. I mean, I kind of expected my subscriber count to go down, but weirdly, it's actually gone up. I mean, like, during the whole, like, at the time that I made that announcement video that I was doing this, I only had 134, 35. And then during this whole annoying process of trying to get my regular camera working so I can sit in front of the, I don't know, the dish, in front of the washer and dryer again, you know, classic place. Um, or set it up over here so this computer's in the back. I can't talk. It's been that long. I forgot how to speak. Uh, um, so like I just decided, you know, look, the deadline was set for the 22nd of July. It's almost like we're like halfway through August, I think now. Let's get this done before it hits September. Because I've got other stuff that I want to work on, and this I want to get my uploading. I want to get my work ethic and my uploading ethic back up to par. You know what I mean? Like to average, like other people. I mean, they upload like other people upload videos weekly, God forbid daily. I'm not going to go that crazy. Maybe weekly or monthly. Like, you know, basically, I'm not going to be. You're not going to see me make videos and then stop for a year and then make videos again. Like that's not going to happen. Um, One way or another, videos are going to be up, whether it's this or something else. And even my computer's falling asleep. So now I'm at 139 subscribers. Whoop-de-doo. I'm actually kind of surprised that I have like almost 140 or so, because like I've noticed like during that time that I didn't upload anything, I was actually getting more subscribers from my old works, and I don't know if they were from the commentaries or the edits or even the few, you know, Bionicle stop motion things I did. Um, Even I admit some of them were kind of like, like, you know, I look back at them and I'm just like, I don't even know what I was thinking. But, you know, it just happens. Uh, but people don't seem outraged, so I guess they're safe for now. So I've got a few questions. One person actually did ask a lot, which was very nice of her to do. So uh, that might be the longer part. And then after that, I'm going to talk about what I plan to do in the future and in regards to videos and or subjects that I'm known for, you know, talking about and everything. But let's get this out of the way, and then I can ramble on for another how many minutes. Uh, let's get started. Raster of Mandomness, I like that name, asks, have you ever heard of Kill la Kill, and would you consider editing it? Yes, actually I have heard of it, and sorry, I've got my answers written down because if, you know, I'm going to forget and I'm going to ramble on. So forgive me for not looking at the camera here when I read my answers, because I'm bad like that. Yes, I have heard of Kill la Kill, and I've even watched it a couple times on Adult Swim, and I really enjoyed it. I understand why, you know, there's a lot of fans. I mean, there's some shows that you just kind of sit there and scratch your head like, what the hell? You know, why do so many people like this? But this show, I can kind of see that, and not just for the obvious. I know many people are going to look at me and think, oh, we know what he's into. We know what he likes. Yes. No, it's a combination, okay? Come on, I'm a guy. I'm a human. What are you going to do? I'm not Dragonkin, okay? Yeah, I've heard of that. That's another topic for another day. Would I consider editing it? Honestly, I'm not sure. Um, when I started doing this whole editing thing years ago, I was very naive about it. I was familiar with like what first got me into it was like the guy who was kind of like oh my god, what was his name? or how the hell do you even say it? It's like it was like Closingo, something like that, and he did a lot of Dora the Explorer edits, which a lot of people don't do now, or even if they do, they're kind of okay. They're not that great. Um, I'm trying to think of what else he did. I know he did Dora, but I don't know if he did anything else. I want to say he did SpongeBob as well. And I remember, like, and this was like before Google bought YouTube, so the copyright thing was kind of all over the place. Um, like, his videos constantly got taken down because, oh, Dora's in it and SpongeBob's in it, or I forget if he used any other sources. Um, and I was young and I liked his stuff, and kind of like years later I kind of like looked back, and some people have saved his works even if they're short clips and repost them, and I'm kind of like, ooh, wow, what did I see in that guy? I mean, no offense, I mean his stuff was good, but it's like I've seen better, and I'm just kind of like, wow, so there was all this, internet, I guess you could kind of call it an internet war almost over copyright, over a guy who puts bad words in cartoons. I mean, that's what I find so funny. It's like if someone uploads a clip and they redub it, so SpongeBob saying fuck or whatever, like, the Green Day guy, the Green Day user who did the famous Grandma's Kisses dub. That's like before it was like, okay, it was uploaded and then it was taken down, and I think the channel was like, the account was like, banned or whatever. They made another one, did the same thing, and then that was taken down, and people have, saved the videos and have re-uploaded them, and now YouTube doesn't care. That's what I find funny, personally. Sorry to kind of go off on a side tangent, even though I have the answers written down, but it's like, I just love that logic of YouTube. Like, okay, so back early in its heyday, there was all this drama and controversy of videos from years ago, but now you upload it and it doesn't really matter. I mean, I know recently there was this whole copyright thing against the SpongeBob YTPs, um, and it's not the first time it's happened. It's some people like to act like, oh, it was this big thing, but honestly, it's just, well, a lot of people's channels are nothing but SpongeBob YouTube poops. So of course they're going to notice. I mean, my channel isn't just edits, it's commentaries and the stop motions and other videos. So, and even then, my videos don't really get copyright striked sometimes. Sometimes they don't flat out, and I'm kind of surprised. But then other ones do. It's weird. I'm sorry to go on a side tangent, but it's like that's what it was like when I was younger and on YouTube. There was, one guy that everyone was known for, but like at the time it was kind of like, people edited the obvious, like SpongeBob, Barney, and Dora, and whatever, but no one really edited anime of any kind, as far as I know, except for some that were well known in America at the time. I think Dragon Ball Z, was that ever edited? I don't know. I mean, something like SpongeBob edited was obvious and funny, but something like anime, I never really thought it could be edited, or at least not that well. But basically, it just comes down to who can do it the best. You know what I mean? It's not a matter of the source material, it's how well can someone do it. Which I'm sure everyone already knows by now, and I'm probably just beating a dead horse. Like, even, for example, Raster of Mandomness. I have seen your Kill la Kill edit, and I love it. It's probably one of the best I've ever seen. Um, and because of the relateds, I did come across a few others that were also pretty good. And I was kind of surprised I didn't see them earlier. Some of them were uploaded like years ago. And I hate myself for not coming across them sooner, because I would have gotten more laughs in my life back then. But I have them now, so I can make up for it. But getting back to the actual question, would I consider editing Kill la Kill? And I'm extending it like any anime. I might. It depends on the clips. I mean, there's some that like you watch it and you go, I know what I know what I can do, and there's others that are like, it's kind of a stretch, but I don't know. I could take a look. I have yet to like branch out. I mean, I still need to branch out on my editing skills. I still need to do whole sentences or conversations with just edited material. Like I'm at that still at that early stage of just putting in a word, you know, some regular dialogue and then another word or a sentence or a phrase, but never a back and forth of two characters saying stuff to each other. You know what I mean? Like with no original dialogue. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Jared Dayton asks, "What is your opinion on butts?" Uh, I find butts are a lot like politicians. Some are nice to look at, but when they open their mouths, they all spew crap. Yeah, I said it. Now, here's the person with the most questions. I had to dramatic pause, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Child of the Blue Forest. I like that name. It's very mysterious. It's like you're from another dimension, Child of the Blue Forest. Yes. Hold on. She asked a lot of questions here. Well, four. And I'm gonna answer them one at a time. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Can you think of any movies that you were looking forward to and were really disappointed by? A movie that I was really looking forward to but was really disappointed by, I'd have to say it's a tie between The Woman in Black 2 and It Follows. Um, the first Woman in Black was its own movie. It didn't need a sequel. But at the same time, the ending was very open enough that, you know, like a sequel could be put in there. And when I heard about it, I thought, okay, could be interesting. I like it. Um, you know, I like the sound of it. I think it could be good. It's the same house and everything. It's very familiar. But all they did was completely ruin the first movie. I mean, when the sequel to a good movie makes you question how the first movie, you know, makes you question the first movie and just everything about it, that's when you know you made a bad sequel. And I don't know. I was kind of debating about this, like whether or not I should go into spoiler territory. I think I might have to for The Woman in Black. Like the whole thing is, like the ending of the first one, when Daniel, if you haven't seen it, you know, stop the video now, go watch it. I highly recommend it. Like, you know, you don't have to see the second one. It has very little to nothing to do with the first one at all. Just see the first one and don't acknowledge the second one. Trust me. The first one, okay, spoiler now. The ending to the first movie was very, like I said, it was very open because Daniel Radcliffe's character is killed at the end. Because like throughout the movie, he's upset. Like, you know, he's kind of haunted by the fact that his wife and son died. It's been a while since I've seen it, so you know, if anyone's seen it recently and I'm missing details, forgive me. But it was his wife and son had died, and you know, he's obviously, you know, upset about it. And then at the end of the movie, and like during the movie, we find out that the Woman in Black is this ghost of a woman who was crazy, or she had some kind of mental instability. I don't know. They didn't really go into what she had. She might have been just schizophrenic, psycho, something. I'm not a doctor at all. See, even the computer's falling asleep listening to me talk. And so they took her son away from him, and she was upset about that. And then she died. And of course, she was an angry spirit. You know, she died angry, so she's a vengeful spirit. And then her son died. But she never got to see her son. She never got to be with her son. She tried to take him. Then, you know, they caught her before she could get any further. And so they had to, you know... Sorry, I'm getting a little sidetracked by what I'm hearing in the very far background. I apologize. And so throughout the rest of the movie, Daniel Radcliffe's character comes up with once he finds that out, he decides, okay, let's see, where is the son buried, and let's put his body with his mother's body, and maybe that could be like their spirits are put together. And they do that. They succeed, despite, you know, like the weather and everything, because, like, I'm not going to go into the location. It's very bad, let's put it that way. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. And then like he runs to the train station and he sees the woman in black and he kind of just, I think, what is he walks off the platform and gets hit by the train and is killed. And then he and then he meets his wife and child and son in the afterlife. And there's nothing really much, like, it's not set in like a dark way. It's actually kind of like, oh, look at that. Like, you almost kind of think of it as, oh, he reunited her with her son, so she's reuniting him with his family. So it's kind of like you look at the trailers and you think, oh, it's this dark, scary movie. And it is, for the most part. There's, a lot of scares and tense scenes and everything, but it's actually, it's surprisingly has a heartwarming ending, which, you don't see very often in movies like that. Especially in that genre. Usually it's everybody dies, the end. But like I said, it's very open because on one hand you can look at it as, oh, the ending is surprisingly heartwarming. That, it's actually kind of like, oh, she did this for him because he did that for her. But then on the other hand, you could look at it as, she's still angry because she didn't get to see him alive. And it's quite possible his spirit passed on already, so she's still stuck on Earth. So, did she just want to kill him because she hated him? I don't, whatever reason. They kind of left it, I don't know, what's the word, ambiguous, I think it is, where it's kind of like either way. And then the second one just destroys that by saying, oh, she wants a son, even though she got her son. So it's kind of like, what the hell? It's... I'm not going to go any further. I'm wasting too much time on that alone. Let's see. Question number 2. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't want to talk about it, but then I forgot. And I know many people are going to bash me for saying, how dare you not like It Follows? I'm sorry, I just don't get the appeal. I really don't. I mean, I heard all the hype. I wanted to see it. It looked interesting. Pardon me. It looked interesting. I was very into it with the trailers. And then I saw it, and wow, I have never been so confused and so tired by a movie all at once. And what's worse is people defend this movie, saying it's smart and that everyone who doesn't praise it just doesn't get it and are too stupid to understand it. I'm sorry, a Paranormal STD is smart, and the fact that our characters can't just, I don't know, what do I want to say, outwalk it, outdrive it, because this thing moves at a snail's pace. It moves at the pace of someone who's just, I can't do it with my hands, like just walking. You just have to outrun it, or they outdrive it. They drive around in the movie, and they still get killed. It's just... I mean, look, the idea is very interesting. I'll give it that. This thing of like, okay, it's something that follows you no matter how fast and how far you go. It follows you at this slow pace. But why did it have to be transmitted sexually? Like, that's something you see in an early day PSA movie that they did years ago. Those tapes that they would show in schools, the black and white films. And they would try to educate people, like the how to throw a party in the 50s. Let me just say this. Fans, if any of you are fans of It Follows, like you get it and you enjoy it, can you please explain it to me? I mean, I've seen people who defend this movie say, oh, it's so obvious, it's amazing, oh, it just went over your head and this and that. Like, let me just ask, like, okay, if it's so obvious, what was it about? Like, what was the meaning? What was the purpose? Because just looking at it, it's just a paranormal STD that follows you around. And I don't know, everyone was saying that it was so obvious that it was supposed to take place in the 80s. But then I've seen other people say, well, actually, no, it's supposed to be like you can't tell what time period it is. Because then for some reason, one of the kids in the group of friends, or I don't know, they don't really seem like friends, they seem more like acquaintances, but that's just me, has this like, what did they describe it as? Like a touchpad. Someone who reviewed it called it a touchpad, I don't know. And it looked like it was like the design of a seashell. and that's nothing like nothing, or e-reader. I'm sorry, that's what it was, like an e-reader, something like that. But the touchscreen and everything, that wasn't in the 80s. Like they didn't have touchscreen technology back then, as far as I know. Um, and nothing that we have right now that is, that has a touchscreen is looks like a seashell or folds like a seashell. Like it looks like it folds open like a laptop, but it's, this little touchscreen thing. And they actually show like her finger goes down and you can see the page go down. So, even the fans of this movie don't really get it, which I hate that phrase. It's just like it's so smug and arrogant. That's what I hate. It's like, so like, that's what I love. Like one side says, oh, it's so obviously the 80s. And then one side's like, it's so obviously neither, or, it's neither. So which side is right? Because either way, both sides are saying those who don't like it are stupid. It's like, look, if it's so obvious, explain it to me. And please refrain from being, insulting. Try not to be a smug douchebag about it. You know what I mean? Like just explain it like you would explain it to your parents, because you wouldn't insult them. Unless you do insult your parents, in which case, I don't know, think of the one person you like and wouldn't insult in your life, and talk to me like you would talk to them. Post it in the comments. YouTube allows a long comments these days. I really hope that stays, because I love that. The limited letter system, that's just stupid. That was stupid. We should be able to type as much as we want now. Sidetracking, I'm sorry, but yeah, I just didn't like It Follows. Just anyone explain it, but please do so in a kind fashion. I'm not trying to make enemies. I'm not saying I hate people who like the movie. I'm just saying I don't get it. I don't see the appeal. I'm sorry, that's what I meant. I don't see the appeal. That's it. What is your favorite trope in movies, and what is your least favorite? Um, I have to admit, in movies, I don't really pay attention to a lot of tropes. I know a lot of people do, so I have to admit I kind of had to look this up so I knew a little bit of what I was talking about. I know some people might say I missed the mark. I don't know. Um, but basically, like, one trope that I like is when actors take their roles in bad films too seriously. Um, those movies where everyone is putting in such little effort. Like, you watch it and you can clearly tell everyone involved didn't care about the movie. Except for like one or maybe even two people that actually put in, genuine performances. Um, I apologize if I'm kind of shiny. It's just I turned off the air conditioner in here because I didn't want, an annoying sound in the background. So, if you see this, don't think, oh, he doesn't bathe. It's just sweat. That's all. It's once I'm done, I'm gonna turn that back on. Because I know what it's like. I hate annoying sounds in the backgrounds of videos. A drink. Ah, that's delicious. Just water. Getting back. Meanwhile, there's that one person or even two who is pouring their heart and soul into the role, and they're amazing in it. And give them credit for being good or even amazing actors, but why in this piece of crap film? Like I'm trying to think, that one actor in Thomas and the Magic Railroad, the Nostalgia Critic, talked about it. It's Thomas the fucking Tank Engine. Well, looking back, yeah, it's not a movie for adults, but I saw it when I was a kid, and when I was little, I was a big fan of, Thomas the Tank Engine. So I liked it as a Thomas film, but now I kind of look at it and I go, but, it's, childhood nostalgia. What are you going to do? But yeah, it's like, all the other actors are putting in kind of a decent job. Alec Baldwin was amazing in his own Alec Baldwin way. And then there was that one guy who played the girl's grandfather. Oh my god, I saw his review recently, and I'm trying to remember his name. The Nostalgia Critics Review. What was his name? Oh my god, this is gonna bug me. But if you know who it is, you know who I'm talking about. That guy. He pours his heart and soul into it as if it's like this depressing movie, but it's Thomas the Tank Engine. It's Thomas the fucking Tank Engine. And getting on to the second part of that question, least favorite trope, I'd have to say the. And it's ironic because I'm a fan of these movies. I hate when everyone dies at the end of found footage movies. I mean, watch a found footage movie, and it typically ends with everybody dying at the end. Um, and the bad guy or bad guys, paranormal entity, monster, and whatever it is, wins and kills the group, or or it's they kill themselves. I don't know, whatever. Honestly, it kind of bugs me. Like it really bugged me the most in something like The Devil Inside. As much as people criticize that movie, and even I agree, like the ending, it's like, wow, really? We had to go to a website that actually had clips that they didn't even bother to put in the movie that would have actually made it better because it answered questions. Like what the hell did that one priest do to his, what was it, his grandfather or his uncle, that the demon, pesters him about? Because that's, it was something that a priest cannot do, or or a human being shouldn't do. um, and it's just like that. That would have answered it if he just explained it, but he doesn't, so you're kind of sitting there scratching your head like, what the hell did he do? But anyway, like in The Devil Inside, at one point a demon possesses one of the priests, because there's two priests in the movie, um, when he's baptizing a baby. And it becomes apparent that something's wrong when he, puts the baby's head in the holy water and then holds it. Like, he's drowning the baby. And it kind of takes a minute for everyone to realize that. And then they eventually get up and, well, not eventually, I mean, they instantly get up and stop him. But it's like a demon possessing a person and touching holy water. Past demon possessed movies have told us that holy water burns a demon, like if you threw hot boiling water on a person. So how is it that like they were holding the head underwater, or like they were touching the baby in the water, and yet the priest wasn't getting burned, unless the demon was ignoring it or something like that. I don't know. Like it just bugs me that every movie, or some of the paranormal movies, say, oh, God doesn't win and evil wins, and that just like bugs me. And I know it's like someone told me, when I told them that, they said, oh, that's just the movie trying to be dark and kind of give a grim ending. And it's just like, it bugs me that every single one does that. Like they like almost, oh, I'm sorry, not every single one, almost every single one does that. Like they kind of lead you with this, they give you this ending that's very, I don't know, what do I want to say, somber. And it's not that I want to see happy endings all the time. I know real life isn't like that, especially when you're running from Bigfoot, or some paranormal monster from another dimension, in some of these movies, because that's as real as you're going to get. um, but kind of change it up a bit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I know there's a few that say, okay, some people died but then the others got away. I can accept that. Maybe we could do that a little more. you know that's just me. It's like I just kind of feel bad. Like it just kind of bugs me, like when they try to do a cleansing of the house or an exorcism, and it doesn't work. And I know the idea is it's supposed to be scary, that, oh, this thing is winning and whatever, but I'm just retreading on old ground. It's just basically, it kind of gets annoying after a while. And it was actually kind of surprised, like when I first saw my first movie, or when I first saw like the first found footage movie that actually ended on not a happy ending, but like a happy, like a positive note. Like some people actually survived. I was kind of like, okay, I'd like to see that a little more. Not so much a happy ending, but maybe a few people surviving, and then maybe they're continuing the fight afterwards. You know what I mean? Um, that's all. That's all. That's all I'd like to see. Um, okay, let's see. Number 3. Are there any movies that are really important and or special to you? A movie that is really special to me and will always have a special place in my heart forever is The Iron Giant. Just gonna say that right now, despite my love of horror movies and everything. I enjoy Disney. I enjoy Pixar. I love Brad Bird. He's like the best guy in the business. John Lasseter's kind of with his planes and cars thing, um, which it. No, I'm not even gonna get into that. It's just I mean, he's doing a good job, but he did give us cars and planes. So take that as you will. Um, I love Iron Giant. I love everything and everyone in it. I love everything about it. Um, to me, it's one of those rare gems where there's very little to nothing wrong with it at all. Like most films today will, you can like look at it, like even though it's generally liked by critics and generally liked by audiences, there's a lot of movies today that you can look at and you can find flaws in, whether they're minor or major flaws. But I don't know. Maybe I need to talk to the right person, but I don't. Come on, don't interrupt me. There we go. It interrupted me. Uh, it's like a rare gem to me that I find pretty much nothing wrong with it, and the animation is especially something that you never really seen before, at least as far as I know. I mean, maybe there's someone who can tell me if they've seen anything similar before Iron Giant, not after, because how can Iron Giant rip off something that came after it? That just makes no sense. It's not The Thief and the Cobbler where it's and Aladdin where it's movie and breeding. Yeah, and every time I watch it, it doesn't get old to me. Oh, excuse me. I mean, like I don't watch the movie on loops. I don't watch it on reruns. Like I watch it once, and then I put it away, and then sometime later I'll find it again, watch it again. You know what I mean? Like basically, like with a healthy amount of time between viewings. Like I don't watch it and then rewind it and then watch it again. Well, actually, I got the DVD, so all I have to do is go back to the menu. But that's being technical. Um, and now the fourth and final question: have you ever heard of a movie called The Room? And have you ever seen it? Yes, I have heard of The Room. Mm. Pardon me. I've seen it many times, and I've seen many reviews about it, and that's including the riff tracks. I love those guys. It's amazing, honestly, and I just love. Oh, excuse me. I am so glad I'm getting to the end of this soon. I apologize if I gross anybody out with my. I'm not dripping sweat, but I'm shiny. I'm glossy. Um, and oh my god, where was I going? Like, I just love both the movie itself and I love the story behind it. Like the stories from the actors themselves and everything. And I just like I kind of feel bad, and I also have to like it's kind of like weird. It's like that bittersweet feeling. Like you have to laugh at, but you also have to feel sorry for the creator and actor Tommy Wiseau because I mean you have to imagine, and the same can go for a lot of people, myself included. Uh, you want to make a movie or you want to make a short. You want to make something, and you have this vision, and you think, okay, this is good, this is the way I want it to go, and this is what I want it to be. And then once it's done and you show it to everybody, and then it gets the response that you don't want. Like you want people to say, oh, it's amazing. You want people to say, basically to compliment you and say, oh, this is great, you're a genius, you're a great actor, actress, whatever. But instead you get, oh, that was terrible dialogue, that was awful editing, it was an awful story, and an awful overall movie. And I can like I don't know, at least to me, and despite his weird accent, and honestly, like I kind of get this from the director who made Birdemic, like it's like despite some theories, like because a lot of people think that movie was bad on purpose, like Sharknado, um, but there's a lot of these movies that people today laugh at because of how bad they are is because someone came up with it and they thought they had a genuine vision and they thought that they were going to be making something great. And I mean, not that they thought they were going to be making a blockbuster, that would like make billions, but they thought that it was going to be good and enjoyable for all the right reasons. But in reality, their work is enjoyed for all the wrong reasons. You know, like with like, and the same can be said for especially Birdemic and The Room. The whole, the acting's bad, the filming in The Room is better. They at least got some professionals for that, at least from what I understand, or at least someone who knew what they were doing. Um, the acting was bad, the music was bad, the dialogue was bad, especially for Wiseau, whatever country he's from, because I've heard many stories that he was from New Orleans and then he was from such and such, and it's like, he's got a distinct accent. He's very secret about that, which I kind of find a little weird. And and like at least I didn't notice it, but other people did. The whole picture of the spoons, I never noticed that, and I've seen the movie a couple times, and like I said, I saw the riff tracks, and I've seen people's reviews of it, and surprisingly, none of them really mentioned spoons until what was it? I think it was Doug Walker's interview with Tommy Wiseau himself, or was it the interview with the guy who played Mark when he brought up the spoons in the picture frames, and I was like, huh. I never really noticed that before because I was so blown away by how bad the acting is. Um, there's some things in movies that you're just amazed people notice. Um, or, like I said, like kind of like, and, like tons of people have made fun. I'm sorry, getting back to the point. People have made fun of it. Plenty of people have made jokes about it. And you just kind of think, like, they didn't really want to make. No, that's not what I want to say. Basically, it's, they make the movie with a certain vision and they think they're making something good, and then their movie is enjoyed for all the wrong reasons. And honestly, to me, I don't know if anyone else feels this way, despite making fun of it, of, both The Room and Birdemic. Birdemic 2 was meant to be bad on purpose, and that was just terrible. That was the bullet in the foot. Stop. Don't do that. Don't do what Sharknado does. I mean, the first one was great, and now the second and third, they're just milking it. You know what I mean? And people complain about movies like Transformers, but yet, people are giving their money to Sharknado and Sharkicane. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that double standard, but I'm gonna stop that. But like, you look at like Tommy Wiseau, and you look at the guy who made Birdemic. I forget his name or even how to say his name. And even though nowadays they go along with the joke because now they kind of have a better, um, they have a better, not I was gonna say appreciation. They have like they act like they have a sense of humor about it, and they go, hey, I know people laugh at my movie that I put my money into and that I took the time to direct and everything. Even though Tommy Wiseau is kind of a creep, he was kind of weird from what I heard of the actress that played Lisa. She said he was very weird. Um, that's why they had to reuse the sex scene from the first one because he wanted to do something else, and it was just like, ugh. So you see them on stage, him with the spoons. I don't know if he's held any spoons, but people have had spoons. And then there's people at Birdemic with the coat hangers and everything. And you see them up there smiling and going, hey, that's great. But you can kind of just see it like in their eyes or on their faces that basically it's like they're just there, like, they're smiling because they don't want to cause any drama or controversy. You know what I mean? Um, like they're kind of just taking it on the shoulder or on the nose, and they're letting it go. You know what I mean? Like, people have made jokes, people have made fun, but they're not going to get upset. They're not going to be like those guys who say, "Oh, you don't get it. Oh, you don't understand my vision or my masterpiece." You know what I mean? Um, there's people like that, unfortunately, and I kind of give them credit for at least admitting they made a bad movie. But when they're kind of going along with the joke, you can kind of see like, oh, this is not what I had in mind at all. So you kind of like, at least I feel bad for the. I don't know, like it's kind of with Tommy Wiseau. I kind of feel bittersweet about him. Like, you feel bad for him, but at the same time, he's not the greatest example of a good human being. And like I said, because there's the creepy factor with Lisa and everything, or the actress. Um, I'm not saying he's a rapist or anything, but it is kind of weird that you would focus so heavily on that, or that you wouldn't film it the way other people filmed it. Like, he wanted to film it on an open set when typically they film it on a closed set. I never knew that, but hey, that's something I learned when reading about it. And the director of Birdemic, he had this confused, message about the environment and global warming and everything, that it just, for one thing, it's like, look, if you want to make a movie like that, you got to make it add up, and he really didn't. So it's like, so global warming is affecting the birds' prey, so that's making them suicide bombers with plane sounds, and bird acid that's only used once. I've only seen the first one. I couldn't stand the second one. I had to stop. And he did at first try to justify it. I don't know. I forget if Tommy Wiseau did, but Birdemic, he tried to justify it, by saying that he felt that it was just as up to par as a regular blockbuster movie. And people might say, the regular blockbuster movies are crap or whatever, but they're not that bad. You know what I mean? They're not that awful. You got to give him that much credit. You got to give Michael Bay that. At least it's not bird acid. It was like he tried to get the film at Sundance, and they rejected it, the film festival. And he even tried to justify it by saying, that it was a blockbuster if you looked at it from really far away. And it's, you can kind of take it either way. It's like, either he's one of those people who are like, oh, you didn't understand my vision. But at the same time, he wasn't exactly pompous about it. He was kind of laughing. And I don't know if that was because he was trying to hide the pain or what, but I'm kind of getting sidetracked. What I mean is, basically, yes, I've seen The Room. I've seen everything to do with it. It's fabulous, honestly. And that's pretty much it for the questions. I have to admit, part of me kind of wishes. Oh, excuse me. It's late when I'm doing this, and I apologize for that. But basically, that's how I feel about that whole situation. But okay, so questions are done. I kind of admit I kind of wish I didn't do the Q&A because of how few questions I got. But I think once I get my activity back up, then, I'll have a more active fan base. Once I get the attention back to me, then the next time I do a Q&A, hopefully I'll get more questions. And as for the future of this channel, I'm kind of debating about commentaries, because, the reason that I stopped when I was uploading videos was I kind of felt like, for one thing, I was getting a bit of hate for my commentaries, the Fred one I did and the Shane Dawson, because, hey, Shane Dawson is untouchable, apparently. Whatever. But, for Fred, I know he was old news at the time that even I made that and everything, but, I had always ranted to my friends about Fred. We had always talked about it, but I never really got to express my opinion. You know what I mean? And I know it's nothing new. It's basically saying the same thing, and he's irrelevant now. I agree. I admit that. But it's just kind of like, you just want to get it out of your system. You know what I mean? It's like, look, I know it's old, but let me just have my piece and then we can move on. Because as we now see, I haven't made any videos about Fred, not even really hinting to it. I think what the Nostalgia Critic said about his movie was enough. Uh, pain, just pure pain. Excuse me. But like I've noticed since I stopped doing commentaries, and then I've seen other people's commentaries about certain things and people, I noticed that there's kind of like this hate for the commentary community. Um, at least the younger ones, as far as I can tell. But basically, I kind of feel like I'm not going to do commentaries anymore. Like, I might just do regular rants, which some people might argue are commentaries, but, I'm not going to do like a video cut back and forth, Because for some reason, people started doing commentaries of commentaries. And two people have done that of two of my videos, the Shane Dawson one and the Fred one. I think you can look up the one that's called is Fred relevant anymore or something like that. Not saying anyone to hate those people, not saying I hate the guys that did them. I found them hilarious, honestly, or at least the kid who did the Shane Dawson one, because he was like a little kid, so his voice was still high. And I just loved how immature he was, but that's just me. I'm not gonna give any more attention other than that. But as for something like Chris Chan, I think I might do a kind of a almost final video, or maybe not necessarily a final video, but kind of like a talking about what's been going on recently, because if you haven't been following him, wow, a lot has been going on in regards to him. All Sega had to do was change an arm color, and boom, that turned Chris into a criminal. I mean, legit criminal. He's in court. I still check the quickie. I don't talk about Chris every day because I know there's a lot of people who are really obsessed. But honestly, I'm just kind of like, is there any news other than the court dates? Not really. But I'll leave that for the Chris discussion video. But as for other guys like Onision or whatever, honestly, I just kind of see basically he's just he's basically a troll. He's just doing it, to get attention and everything. Because that's what a lot of these guys do, is they just try to get attention, so then you talk about them more, and then they make more money. Because that's the thing, these guys make money. These guys make more money on their videos. I was saying funny. Don't know what funny is. So, the more you talk about them, then the more their videos get watched, and then the more money they make, which, thank God, I have ad blocks, so I'm not contributing. And I don't even watch his videos anymore. I think I watched maybe one, and that was someone's rant or commentary on him. And basically, I'm just going to be focusing more on the edits themselves. Yes, for those of you wondering, I am going to be doing the finishing up the Barney movie edits. I apologize for again, the inactivity with that. It's just kind of basically, it was kind of a hiatus. I just kind of lost interest. It's okay, the last part was up, and I was already looking to the next one, and I was kind of editing it a little bit, and at the time I didn't learn that you can, you don't have to do the whole thing. People who make YouTube poops don't have to use the whole source. They can just use a section, or they can use multiple sections. They can do something at the beginning, something in the middle, and something for the end. Sometimes just the end. It doesn't even, again, it doesn't have to make sense. But when I started the Barney thing, I thought it had to be almost the whole thing. I didn't do the very beginning. Well, originally I did do the beginning, but then my iMovie got weird with me. I think it was some kind of update or whatever. And so the video was like corrupt or whatever, so I had to delete all that, and I basically just kind of like skipped to, you know, Baby Bop on screen or whatever. Um, but I am going to be continuing that, and I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna end it. I still am. And as some of you have seen, I've also moved on to editing some other stuff. I recently came across the House on Pooh Corner. I'm not doing the, you know, bad touch PSA because I feel like that's been done to death in terms of YouTube poops and everything. I mean, I might. Okay, scratch that. I might do something if, you know, I can, if I'm inspired to do something. But like, for example, like Tom Servo 3 Alt, I think that's his name. He at this point he's mainly known for doing the Speakonia stuff, or at least I think it's Speakonia. He's using some other program that he won't say for some reason. I think because it has the Yoda voice, which is like amazing. If you've ever seen those videos, but like he did start doing YouTube poops, and what was it, the Harry Potter with Jim Dale? That's who it was. I wanted to say Michael Rosen, and it's like, no, it's not Michael Rosen. It's another British guy, Jim Dale. And he did a lot of the Winnie the Pooh's, you know, House on Pooh Corner, you know, Bad Touch. He did a lot of YouTube poops about that. You know, strange, you know, tall humanoid furries, something like that. And I kind of think that's, you know, that's done enough. So, I mean, the edits I might do, but it all depends with time. In terms of shows I'm watching right now, I might do Steven Universe, because I like, but like part of me is I can't talk. That's how it is. I need to slow down. I apologize. Just a little slinky. That helps calm the nerves. There we go. It's got that metal smell. Because it is made of metal. Anyway, like someone was asking me, I'm sorry, it's like, it's kind of a combination of both. On one hand, I was thinking about doing Steven Universe edits, and then on the other hand, someone was asking me if I would do that. Not for this Q&A, but like I was talking with a friend of mine outside of YouTube, and she was asking me that, and I was like, maybe. And honestly, I wasn't surprised by that question because, as far as I know, she's pretty much the only friend I know outside of people on YouTube and everything. Oh wait, no, what am I saying? Outside of YouTube, she's like the only person I know that I haven't met through YouTube. That's what I mean. Who's a fan of Steven Universe? Like everybody else, it's just kind of like they acknowledge it's there, but that's about it. So I mainly talk to her about Steven Universe stuff. If she's watching, she knows. She knows. And I'm just about reaching the hour mark. Well, 58 minutes. It's a scorcher. Oh, Lord, it's a scorcher. I don't know why I said that. But, yeah, this is what you've been waiting for a month. It's basically just, you know, I'm doing the edits. I'm continuing Barney. And I'll talk about Chris Chan in the near future. I'm honestly, the original plan was I was kind of waiting to see if anything really big would happen. And unfortunately, something big did happen, but I kind of figured, well, everyone already really is talking about it. So I was kind of debating, like, what could I say that added to it? But a lot of people like my commentaries, especially when it's related to Chris Chan. So I might just do it, because I know there's an audience for it, so I might just do it. So expect that in the near future. And just so you guys know, Raster of Mandomness, I believe I said that right, yes, is doing a collab that I'm a part of. So some of the videos that'll be coming up first after this are going to be those, my collab entries. He wants them to be uploaded to YouTube so then he can download them, and then at the same time gets more videos for me and gets more people to recognize him, because his edits are really good. Like I said, the Kill la Kill one was actually very good. Especially since it was like he basically made like whole sentences out of edits, and they were pretty good. It's not often you see a lot of people do that. So now I'm reaching the hour mark. I don't know how this is going to look when it's uploaded to YouTube, but basically, to end this off, to put the pin in it, basically consider this an edit/rant channel for the time being. I'm JMan92854, and it's good to be back. Thank you. Thank you for staying subscribed. Thank you for watching, and I hope for another 139 in the near future. Good night.